Happy Wednesday, Spiritual Girlies. It's Natasha here with the Spiritual Girlie Covenant, just checking in with you all for our weekly Wednesday reading for the Spiritual Girlie Collective. All right, now y'all know recently I've been talking about like building our legacy without having burnout, the high priestess way. So I kind of want to keep that theme for our reading today. I just feel like it's so appropriate and so needed and so necessary at this time. So it just makes hella sense. But we just gonna dive right on in. I appreciate all you guys for being here, for tuning in, tapping in. Thank you to those who have subscribed recently. Ooh. These are the 3 cards that popped out as I was getting started. Let's see, the 3rd chakra, we got the solar plexus, freedom of choice. Then we have the 5th chakra, which is the throat chakra, creative expression. And then the 4th chakra, which is the heart chakra, unconditional love. So the fact that we're even opening up this reading with freedom of choice, creative expression, and unconditional love, if this does not speak to building our legacies without burnout, the high priestess way, I don't know what is. First of all, we need to reclaim our power, which we discussed yesterday, and we need to have the freedom to choose what we want to do, not be programmed to choose what we want to do, right? So this card says I have the freedom to choose, so I choose wisely because my decisions have a great impact on how I see myself and how I feel about myself. I own, accept, and express my feelings unreservedly and do not try to escape them with my own mind games. I have free will to choose how I respond to any situation. I choose to respond with wisdom, clarity, and understanding, as we like to say, understanding. The throat chakra, which is responsible for creative expression. It reads, I am committed to sharing and revealing my thoughts and feelings by being creative in my communication style and using expressive language. I express myself through talking, singing, sighing, laughing, and crying, and through using my creative talents. I consciously use my senses to experience my world more fully. I see, hear, smell, and feel more, and I become more aware of my surroundings, such as the weather, aromas, people, nature, sounds, and sights. Ashe. And then we have the 4th chakra, which is responsible for the heart chakra, which is responsible for unconditional love. I allow myself to be open to giving and receiving love without fear of rejection. I give without expecting recognition or acknowledgement in return. When I am loving to others, I am helping bring out the innate love within them so they also feel uplifted and worthy of love, as well as being cared for. I love myself the way I am, not the way I was or could be, and I extend this love to others. I teach others how to love and respect me by how I love and respect myself. Ashe. So again, we're in the frequency of building, learning to building our legacies without burnout, and that really requires reprogramming of the mind, unconditioning of the mind, and literally handing back the system their programs that they created for us to emulate and to act upon. But as a spiritual girly, as a high priestess, as a goddess, it is our duty to reclaim our power, reclaim our sovereignty, and create the world how we see fit. Ashe. So, I want to use these cards. Okay. So I did have a couple questions that I wanted to specifically ask Divine Sacred Source Energy and get clarity and confirmation on for the Spiritual Girlie Collective. Okay. Okay. I know a question that I have to ask. I wrote a couple, well, not wrote, but I recorded some. I'm always like recording notes for when things pop into my mind so I won't forget them later on. And one of the questions that I have in regards to building our legacy without burnout, right? The high priestess way. For some reason, I put integration, but then in parentheses, I put, what permission is Spirit granting me today regarding ease? So what permission, ooh, look at the card that popped out. What permission is Spirit granting me today, or us today, regarding ease? And we had the fall back card pop out. Okay, fall back. So what I'm getting, okay, with this fallback card, as you can see, there is an angel with a very heavy, like barbell or ball of some sort chained to her that is weighing her down. So with this energy, what I'm getting, or with this card, the energy that I'm getting is a lot of us need to fall back from the things that are weighing us down. The things that we do, the people that we interact with, the situations that we involve ourselves with, maybe the employment or the job that we have, or maybe the career that we think that we want. There's a lot of things that we need to fall back from if we are wanting to soar. Ooh, and this also speaks to me personally when it comes to mindset shifts, okay? So when people talk about mindset shifts, they make it sound extremely easy, as if there is a switch that you can cut on and all of a sudden your mind just automatically follows suit. Well, with like mindset shifts and reprogramming the mind and reprogramming your cellular structure or your nervous system, I'm not sure about how long it takes to do that, but it takes an immense amount of intentional work, like day-to-day work, daily work. And even in that, you can find yourself in moments where a lot of old things may come up, where maybe you didn't handle a situation quite right, as if your higher self would, or maybe you didn't respond to a situation, you more so reacted emotionally. There are certain things like that. However, when it comes to like building our legacy and reprogramming our mind to do so, there are a lot of things that we have to leave behind, change, pivot into, do more of, or do less of. There is this energy of falling back, especially from toxic situations, or especially from people who resonated with our old mindset. Okay, people don't talk about enough the challenges that you actually go through internally and the wars that you literally battle internally when it comes to mindset shifts. Because a lot of what we take in, like a lot of doubt or a lot of defeat or a lot of things that take place happen in the mind first. And a lot of the time, the things that we are conjuring in our mind that goes against us don't even come true. But there's a constant war in the mind. So when it comes to building your legacy, you know what I mean? Building the world, co-creating with the universe, the world that you see fit for your loved ones, for yourself, creating that comfort and joy and abundance and wealth. There's a lot that you're going to have to fall back on. There is a lot of people that you're going to have to fall back on. Relationships that you're going to have to fall back on. Okay? Friendships. There is a lot of ties that you are going to have to cut when it comes to this new identity of building without burnout, operating in your most highest vibration when it comes to being a high priestess, or when it comes to being a goddess, sashay. So the question that I asked was, what permission is Spirit granting us today regarding ease? Falling back. Okay, you have the permission to fall back on people if they no longer align with you, if they are no longer a part of the mission, if they are not personally working on themselves and operating in their highest integrity and operating in their highest truths and transparency, and like really working on their spirituality holistically, just working on themselves. You have permission from Spirit to fall back. Okay, the universe, the benevolent universe, has granted you permission to fall back, again, not just from people, but situations and opportunities that just no longer align with this new identity, with this falling away of the hustle energy and the hustle culture that you have put in. Ashe, you got permission. So today, fall back. Okay, all right, I'm looking at the other questions that I got. Ooh, okay, this one is a good one. This says, okay, even before I could get it out, the question that I was going to ask is, how does our future self maintain wealth, health, and peace simultaneously? Okay? This is a sustainable legacy prompts. This is sustainable legacy tips. This is building your legacy without burnout tips. How does our future self maintain wealth, health, and peace simultaneously? And I pull the orgasm card. The orgasm card generally appears when you need to make everything, when you need to create and have fun in the things that you do, when you need to create and have joy in the things that you do, okay? This is a way that you can resist burnout. It's by finding fun. It's creating orgasmic moments, making everything about this higher living, this higher vibrational living, making everything about what your highest self would be or do or look like in this time when it comes to building your legacy. Ashe, without burnout. So when you make things fun, also what I'm getting with this orgasm card too, the energy that I'm getting is also saying like, do what brings you joy. Do what makes you come. Do what makes you orgasm. If it's something that you are not truly happy or excited about, then that is not what you should be doing. Okay? Not everything is going to be like a bed of roses. There are mundane things that you have to do. For instance, me, I don't really like doing laundry. I hate doing dishes. When it comes to my business, tax time. That is just such a stressful thing, but it has to be done. However, 90% of the things that I do are very orgasmic. I make cooking orgasmic. You know what I mean? I make spending time with my family orgasmic. When I'm creating skincare, it is a very fun experience for me. Ashe, so you have to create joy, make it fun, and don't force it, okay? Don't fake the joy. Don't fake the fun. Don't even force it, okay? Orgasms is something that happens to you naturally. So if it feels natural, if it feels good, okay, this is how you're going to be able to maintain your health, wealth, and peace simultaneously, because you're creating intentionally joy. You're creating intentionally fun and amazing and magical moments, orgasmic moments. Okay, going to a mundane job that you really don't like is not fun. Operating in an old version of yourself, trying to enter a newer and higher timeline is not fun. Warring with your thoughts, warring with yourself is not fun. Find joy, create joy. Okay, the things that you are naturally talented at, naturally creative at, naturally amazing at doing, that is what you turn to magic. That is what is going to be used to sustain your wealth, sustain good health and peace, okay? Because peace can be fun. Creating boundaries for people to respect you, getting rid of things that no longer apply to you, getting out of spaces that no longer are relative to you, those things are fun because you have a new you that is rising. You have a new you that is literally being born, right? So you want to find joy, you want to find fun, you want to find the magic in the things that you do, okay? And generally that comes from doing what is appealing to the soul, satisfying to the soul. Ashe, expanding the spirit, expanding the mind. Ashe, and those are things that you are naturally good at. So, again, when it comes to your future self, okay? Maintaining wealth, health, and peace simultaneously. Make orgasmic moments. Do things that make you come. All right. So I just want to ask one more question. All right. When it comes to us building our legacy. Ooh. This is really good. Okay, this is a great question. What belief about success is quietly draining my life force? What belief about success is quietly draining our life forces? What beliefs are we holding on to? What beliefs are outdated or never really worked? What beliefs were programmed into our mind, okay, into our cells, into our nervous system, okay, about success that literally is draining our life force? We know hustle culture, right? Tension. So when it comes to quietly draining our life force, we think that there needs to be struggle involved. We think that it needs to be hard to obtain. We think that it must be obtained through extreme aggressiveness. We think that it must be obtained through not getting a lot of sleep, because sleep is for the weak. Tension is not how you build your legacy. Tension is how you burn out. Things do not have to be extremely hard for the divine feminine, neither for the divine masculine. However, there are certain roles and things that we must do as a divine feminine. That tension is literally blocking our manifestations. It's blocking our abundant life force. It's blocking our creativity, actually. It's actually operating backwards. Because as a divine feminine, as a spiritual girly, as a high priestess, right, we know that a lot of things are to be acquired through flow, through ease, through being comfortable, through breathing, being able to think, being able to tap in. We got to get out of this idea that if I'm not struggling, then I'm not doing something right. If I'm not struggling, then it wasn't for me. Then this couldn't be for me, because I know when I get things, I have to get things through struggling for it. It's a lot of tension in a lot of our lives that we got to get rid of. We got to get rid of the idea, because the overworking, the over struggle, this is what's burning you out. This is what's draining your life force. It's the tension is caused by survival mode. The tension is caused by struggling. The tension is caused by misaligned connections. So when we're speaking of building our legacy as a high priestess, we know that naturally we operate in a very calm state, in a very calm environment. This is why we speak about peace so much. This is why we always say, do things that bring you peace. Protect your peace. Having tension isn't a peaceful thing. That isn't flow. That isn't ease. That is survival. That is constantly on go. That is high cortisol levels for the woman. That is operating deeply in the masculine energy. That is operating totally backwards, totally opposite of how you need to be operating in this new season. So, tension. Get rid of the survival mindsets. Work on your mindset. Work on what you're telling yourself day to day. If you are telling yourself that I need to struggle in order to make it, if you are telling yourself that you need to bootstrap your entrepreneurial endeavors in order to succeed, if you're telling yourself that you need to be with a person who doesn't, respect you, or who beats you to show you love you, just things that are just not in alignment with your true ethereal spiritual core is causing tension. And you need to dead it, and you need to get rid of it. That is draining your life force. They lie to you. That is not how that isn't the only way to achieve or obtain success. Actually, it's a way to literally deplete your opportunity and your chances to obtaining success. Because how are you manifesting when you're not even at ease in your body? When you're not even at ease with your choices and decisions? When you're waking up every day being forced to do something that goes against your natural way of being and thriving. So keep that in mind, spiritual girlies. All right. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning into this week's Wednesday weekly reading. Okay. Listen, we are in the frequency. We are going to hold the frequency. We are going to maintain this vibration of building our legacies without burnout. Okay. I'm going to ride this for as long as I possibly can because it's super, super important for the divine feminine right now today to learn how to operate more in their divinity, operate more in their faith and knowing, operate more in knowing that the universe supports them and the great mother has their back. And there is nothing that they literally cannot do and that the power is within us. Like, I'm just going to drill it to us because so many of us right now are just not where we should be and could be. And although, the saying goes, you are exactly where you need to be, that is true. However, there are some people who can be stuck in loops, who can be stuck in patterns, who may want certain things, but are just not maintaining the frequency to get them. Because again, we're naturally attracting, we're naturally magnetizing, we naturally emit divine essences, divine energy. We literally just block things by doing things that go against that natural wave. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Leave in the comments below how this may have assisted you, how this may have got your thoughts going and got you in a mood to just operate better for today. We're not going to focus on tomorrow. We're not going to focus on next week. We're not going to focus on the entirety of 2026. We're going to operate and focus on today. How did this reading help you today? All right.